Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Battlefield Waltz. Not without the struggle of a lifetime today. Because it took me 15 minutes to get my capture card to record the video. And then I just spent several minutes fighting with it because I was like, why is there no sound? Why are you not recording sound? Because there's no sound in this right now. There's none. There isn't any. But there's always background music, so I was like, why can't I hear background music? Why is it not recording background music? And reboot my computer and everything. Go to the main menu, there's sound, I can hear it go. And I'm like, well, my TV's so low that I can't hear it. But recording it, I'm like, yes. And then I'm like, is there just no sound in the scene? Open the scene. No, there's just no sound in the scene. So, like, I am unhinged. But, can we blame me with how cunty my recording software is? Oh my God. Anyway, so I don't remember what was happening, but it's fine anyway. Moaning and groaning. Okay. Oh, we fell out of bed. Is this us in a past life? Is this us in a past life? I'm just wondering. She's got big blue eyes. Because now it's a Wilhelm CG, by the way. Seriously, look at his tits. Look at his He's got bigger boobs than she does. It's fucking hilarious. Ha! You rich people always say such naive things. That's why I don't like royalty. No, I'm not being naive, Wilhelm. You're a good fighter and I trust you. But this is why it's so unfortunate. What's so unfortunate? That you're always alone. I want you to trust your friends more. Or, okay, this is just some other girl in the past that said the same shit to him. But I'm wondering if this is us in the past. I'm just saying, we don't know. He said that our souls resonated. If this was like past life, me, I'm just saying. I think the sword exists to protect, not to cause harm. Maybe that's also why he's been bitching at us every time we're like, everything is, he's like, ugh. And he doesn't realize that we remind him of whoever this is. There you go again with that nonsense. Why do you keep repeating the same damn thing? Wilhelm. Trust? Peace? You only say that because you royals don't know a thing. The sword exists to protect? So stupid it makes me laugh. Okay. So, weapons are here to protect. Yeah, but against what? Weapons that people are using to kill. If you didn't have weapons, you wouldn't need weapons to protect from other people who are using weapons to kill. I'm just saying, it's like an endless loop, though. Everyone who isn't you is the enemy. Get that through your head. But that's adorable. Then am I your enemy too? He said everyone who isn't you. I would never betray you. So, is there going to be a kiss? Wilhelm, I'm sorry for hiding it. I said I would never betray you, but I've been deceiving you this whole time. We have? I'm sorry, Wilhelm. Is she saying that like mumbling in her sleep, or is that something she's consciously aware of? Chapter 3 already. Okay. Out of control. You think he's going to get out of control? Because that sounds like it. But I'm confused. Why were we mumbling that we deceived him? Intriguing. Okay. Transitions. Have fun. Hello! Wake up, sleepyhead! Or else we won't have time to eat. Good. Now go wash your face and get changed. Is it morning already? Sorry. Morning. Hold on. What's with those eyes? Huh? They're so red. Did something bad happen to you? I was like, did my eyes change color? Because they were blue before and they're blue now. In the memory dream thing, where that could have very well been us in a past life. We don't know. Huh? I grabbed the hand mirror next to me. Whoa. My eyes were red and swollen, yet my cheeks were dry. I looked like a mess. Maybe I had a bad dream. Oh, so shouldn't remember. Okay. You need something to cool it down. Hang on a sec. I'll get you a wet towel. Oh, before I knew it, Yuriana ran out. My mind was blank and nothing felt real. Last night's dream, I couldn't remember any of it. It seemed as though I cried, so it must have been a terrible nightmare. Maybe it was about the village. I struggled to remember what dream it was. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't remember why I was crying or any other detail. To be fair, that has to be us in a past life or us, and we just don't remember, and maybe we never died. Maybe we're also like fucking magical and like something like similar to Tifalet. He's like, I'm not really real and I'm a ghost of me, and maybe I am too. I don't know, whatever. Because why would they have Wilhelm in a CG with someone else who's not us, that's not like one of our boyfriendos or like Yuriana or something? Why would you have a Wilhelm CG that's some other random bitch? You know what I mean? That's us. That bitch is us. But there's no other, you know what I mean? Okay. All right. Anyway, how that's us and like past life and we died and we were reincarnated or whatever. Oh my God, do you have to go potties? Did I not? You know what? To be fair, we came up here and it's been like 20 fucking minutes since we came upstairs trying to get this motherfucker to work. So sorry, that's my fault. I didn't get you potties before we started recording and I didn't check if you needed to go before we went. That's my fault. It's my fault. Good boy. I didn't want you to have to hold that the whole time. It's giant. It's like the size of your body. That's not true. That's your morning poopies. Everybody needed to know that. If I have to know that, you have to know that. There you go. But that was giant poopies for Tiny Bird. I know. You were holding that for a while. You should have told me before. But thank you for not pooping on me. Thank you for just being like, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to look like I'm really holding in my poo, so you go take me to my poo spot. I know, you're a good boy. You're such a good birdie. Yes, you are. You're going to bite me in a minute because I'm petting you. Anyway, like a cat. But no matter how hard I try... Okay, I read that already. Anyway. But yes, definitely us, somehow. How, we don't know yet. Huh? Then you really don't remember any of it? No. Thanks to Yuriana's wet towel, the swelling had mostly gone away, but the back of my head felt heavy, probably because I cried. Oh, but don't you at least remember if it was a happy or bad dream? I'm assuming if my eyes are this red, it wasn't good. Actually, no. I don't remember anything. I see. Well, I hope you don't have it tonight. Yeah. Oh. Right as I picked up the sandwich, Wilhelm entered the cafeteria by himself. He went to line up and wait his turn. I guess the rumors died down after a week. Yeah. He still seemed out of place in the academy, but most of the students had stopped whispering whenever he arrived. Great to know that he's eating well. So this time we're the princess. Okay. I was free in the afternoon, so I went into town alone. A dream I can't remember. So strange. Also, about this flute. Oh, and you know what? Okay, that would make sense, because I was like, I forgot about the flute. But remember, it was like, oh, the flute, is the flute like, you know, his, and it's proof that he's royalty? It's proof that we are. Maybe he knows that tune because we used to be able to play it. Maybe that's her flute. Past life Spacey's flute or whatever. And, like, she gave it to him, and that's why he hasn't, he's giving it back to us. And it just feels right, even though he doesn't understand it either. Interesting. Okay. I brought it with me, so I stared at it. I should have asked someone to teach me how to play it. But before that, I'll try to find an empty spot at the port and play it a little. Hey, perfect timing. Guido was waving at me from in front of his tavern. What's wrong? Well, the thing is... Guido lowered his voice and looked around. Colette said she saw the lieutenant of Romeo in the forest. She looked frightened. I asked her why, and she said she saw a scary-looking man, so I can only assume it was him. The lieutenant? You mean Igor, right? Yeah, I haven't had a chance to see him before, so I knew who she was talking about. Was Igor alone or with someone? Colette said he was alone, but then again, maybe he was just waiting for his people to arrive. I saw him once too. Don't worry about it. No, I saw him once too. Don't say don't worry about it. What the fuck? Yeah. Don't worry about it. That sounds like we're in cahoots. I saw him once too. I heard. Chalet told me about it, so that's why I was worried. Guido and Chalet are close with the students of Nirvana, but they're not members of the military. I shouldn't make them worry too much. I mean, these big, strong men are like, I am strong, but have a little girl fight for me. I'm just saying. I mean, not all men need to go to war, but like also we have a military comprised of teenagers. It's just right. Fuck. The logistics are fucking weird. Guido, neither you nor Colette should worry about it too much. I'll report it to the instructors, and we'll step up patrols. Counting on you. By the way, where'd you get that flute? Looks pretty. Huh? Oh, I received it as a gift due to certain circumstances. You could just say I got it as a gift. Not due to certain circumstances. That is like asking for somebody to be like, what the fuck kind of circumstance? That's a robotic way. Are you an alien? What the hell says shit like that? Ah, so you know how to play it? Actually, no. Okay, but you'll get better with practice. Do you happen to know how to play it? Guido immediately shook his head wildly. Do you know anyone who could teach me? I can't think of anyone right away. I can ask Colette. Yeah, great. I'll see you later. I wonder how that conversation... Hey, Colette, you know anyone who knows how to play flute? Are you thinking of learning flute, Father? That would be so precious. I'll make you a flower crown and everything. I could see Guido playing a flute with a flower crown on. Oh, he would love that. I kind of feel like he'd rock that shit. I guess it wouldn't be so easy to find a teacher. It's quiet here, so I should practice. I mean, Wilhelm knows how. I placed the flute to my lips, and then my fingers moved on their own. It was like they remembered where to position themselves next. I was waiting for the inevitable, like, kazoo kind of noise that would be me playing a flute. Huh? Surprisingly, I was playing the same tune that Wilhelm had played. It's because in your past life, or another version of you, whatever. Listen, we're going to go with past life. Whether it was she was alive and died and reborn, or it is like, it's just you have been alive for centuries and you just don't remember because, you know, some kind of similar situation to Tifalet where, like, you're a ghost of yourself or your memory's gone, whatever, okay? And it's, you've never died and, you know, Spacey 1 and Spacey 2 are in the same body and have been for centuries. Regardless, we're just going to go with past life somehow, okay? So, that would be why. Anyway. No, wait. How can this be? I never learned the flute, and I only heard that tune twice. How is that enough for me to learn it? But I have that feeling again. The nostalgia and sadness were more powerful than when I was just listening to Wilhelm play. It made me want to cry. Why do I feel this way? There shouldn't be any reason. But I got curious and continued playing, all the while facing the glittering sea. This flute is... A thought crossed my mind. It was minor, but profoundly painful and sad. I didn't know you were so skilled with the flute. Okay, you know what? I was waiting for Tifalet to show up, and part of me was like, okay, Wilhelm in talking to past life us was like, fucking royalty, so we're royalty in our past life. And then I was half expecting Tifalet to be like, wow, that tune is so nostalgic for me, and I was going to be like, wait, is Tifalet my brother? And we didn't know it? Because you ruined his route a little by not telling me this. And then I was like, well, I mean, we're probably like royalty in some other nation. And the next one that popped up was Romua. Does that mean Abel's my brother? Did we bang our brother and the game didn't tell me? If we got to bang our brother and the game didn't tell us until after the fact, I'm going to be a little upset about it. There's only 2 nations. That's it. Oh my god. Anyway. I turned around, gripping the flute tightly. Where did you get it?
Was it a gift from Queen Kiora or something?
Yeah, but not her.
I see. Perhaps it was a token of love.
We're like,
Look at this flute. It's gorgeously crafted, which means it must have been really expensive. It's no casual gift.
I mean, to be fair, all of our boyfriends have given us nice jewelry when they're in love with us, so Wilhelm giving us a flute this early? Sure. This is,
The other reason I thought it was from Queen Kiora is because of the way you played it.
the way I played it?
You have skill. I thought you must have been taught by a famous musician. The kind that would frequent royal palaces.
Because, again, Wilhelm learned to play the tune probably, because he's like, yeah, I'm not that great at it, but he probably learned to play it because we did in our past life or whatever. And if we were royalty, this makes sense. Tifalet's words left me speechless. I've never been taught by anyone of that status. I've never been taught by anyone at all.
So where did you learn it?
Actually, I feel like it's actually. I only have one hand. The bird's in the left hand, so you gotta reach over. Yeah, actually. Not, it's a secret. That's silly. Will he laugh if I tell him? But Tifalet's a mage, so it might not be too out of the ordinary to him. Maybe he'll understand. Oh, dear God. Stupid pop-up on my tablet. Hold on. There we go. Go away. And now I gotta go back to my tab. I braced for laughter and began to explain. You might laugh at me for mentioning this, but I've never learned how to play the flute.
Oh?
Wilhelm, the cursed sword, gave me this flute. He said he couldn't play it himself, so... And when I tried to play it...
Is that so? Well, that's rather interesting.
Although you could say, I suppose, that we know how to play it because we were fused with Wilhelm for so long that if he kind of knew how to play it, it rubbed off on us or some shit. I don't know. But we didn't get magically awesome at the sword just because he was part of us, so that also doesn't make sense. It's strange, right? How am I able to play an instrument that I was never trained to play?
Strange, certainly, but hardly impossible. This is a world full of oddities, after all.
Says the oddest of the oddities. A ghost. Is it?
Sure, a master flutist in your previous life.
Something like that. My previous life?
Why are you so surprised? Some of my customers remember theirs, too.
Really?
Some people remember places they've never been, or feel nostalgia for music they shouldn't know. Most of them are due to memories from their previous lives.
I mean, that's how I know that you should never... I mean, my previous life was like, I died in a horrible fiery car crash, which is why I'm terrified of fires. Okay. I mean, I don't think who wouldn't be, but I mean, an irrational fear of like, oh my God, like, is just tell me that I died in a fire, and it was probably all the cocaine I did at that 70s roller disco. And then I got in my car, and I'm pretty sure I died in a fire. And I learned from that experience in this life that you should never wear roller skates and drive, because it's not the doing a fucking shit ton of coke or whatever, or drugs and driving a car. It's don't wear roller skates and drive, because they get stuck on the thing, and then you fiery apocalypse off a cliff or some shit. So I mean. But the fact that, like, at one point, that whole entire thought process story came way too easily. I'm like, I'm either very creative, which, I mean, I'll give me that, but also, I don't know. And my obsession with roller disco, like I've always, I don't know how to roller skate anymore. I mean, I knew as a child, but I don't know how to roller skate anymore. But I always wanted to have a roller disco party. I don't know. There's just something about I don't get it. I just feel like that has to be something that I died in a prior life in the late 70s. You know what I'm saying? And just like, and it's just permanently ingrained in me. I definitely was a fancy Victorian man as well. Don't get me wrong. Because like, I think we all have a little Victorian man in us seeing ankles. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that indicates anything aside from like, they titillate us with these, ankles. But, just the frills and the fabulous, the gay man inside of me was definitely from the Victorian era. And still gay as fuck. So, you know. I mean, I feel like were men in the Victorian era just all a little bisexual, probably. Maybe. We can hope. Anyway. But I'm just saying, okay? Sometimes you just know. You just know. You know, it's kind of like, oh my god, I am terrified of the ocean. You probably drowned in the ocean or got, like, eaten by a shark or some shit. Like, if you have an irrational fear of something, like, you know, if you're just like, I have an irrational fear of spider, like, just spider, no, fuck it, like, you were probably eaten by spiders or a spider bit you and you did not become Spider-Man. Superman? Well, you didn't become Spider-Man, you became dead. And now you have this arachnophobia. I'm just saying. Being creeped out by holes, though, is just because they're creepy. And creeped out by clowns is just because clowns are creepy. So that's normal. But I'm just, you know, I'm just saying. You don't think that that's like a stem over from like a past life where you were like, I have no reason to fear being attacked by a shark because I don't go swimming in the ocean, but like, man doesn't haunt my dreams. Either it's because you watched Jaws as a kid, okay, you know, fair enough, or like, you died in a past life because you got eaten by a shark. Just, you know, that's up to you to figure out which one of those applies, but like, I'm just saying, you know? There are normal things to be afraid of, and then there are things that you're like, there's really no reason for me to be, like, in this stage of, like, worried or concerned about it. And yet, here we are. So, yeah. Have fun trying to figure out your past lives now, and how you died horrifically. Maybe you didn't die horrifically in all of them. Let's hope. Let's hope. Like, you only died horrifically in, like, one out of however many you've had. I mean, I don't think I'd wish anybody dying horrifically, but I'm just saying, the odds are you probably did. Just look at the world. It's a shithole. Anyway. Memories from previous lives, yes. But, it can't be. Can Tifalet help us? I want to see.
Perhaps you and Wilhelm knew each other in your past life. This flute might have triggered something you've forgotten.
What? Yes, see, Tifalet knows, and that drink... Yeah, come on. Tifalet basically just was like, that thing you were thinking with the drink... That's true.
I suppose it's not easy to accept. But your flute performance was quite something. I was captivated by it.
Thank you.
Just so you know, I'm not teasing you.
I can tell. Well, I'll go back now. I said bye to Tifalet and headed back to Nirvana. My heart was stirring the entire way back. Previous life. No way. It was impossible. Even thinking that, though, the flute in my hand felt so right. No, it just wouldn't make sense. The thing is, Tifalet's a mage, he's got magical... Maybe you should talk to him and be like, can you help me figure out past life stuff? I'm only thinking about it because Tifalet mentioned it. I stopped and looked at the flute. I'll practice a little more, and then perform it in front of Wilhelm. I returned to Nirvana and reported to the instructor about Igor. When'd you see him? I don't know, about like 6-7 hours ago. I was busy having fun. Not that, like, by the time she got back and told Guido, and then you ran into him, even if you went right back, it would have been hours, you know? Phew, I didn't have that dream last night. I woke up this morning and immediately looked into the mirror. Thankfully, there were no signs that I had been crying. Oh, morning! Good morning. Good morning. The weather's nice today. I looked around the classroom as I said good morning to my friends. He said he's going into town today. You're like looking around the classroom and he's like, I know what you're looking for. Asaka knows. Not only Asaka, but all of my friends were grinning. Morning. Speaking of which, I saw him at the port the other day. He was alone, so it didn't look like he was causing any trouble. Thanks? I hesitated on whether to thank them, but I felt like they were being considerate of me. Maybe I'll get used to this place like this. He's not causing any problems, so you shouldn't worry so much either. I'm not worrying about... I mean, I'm worried about him, but not causing trouble. I'm just looking for him because just, he's got a slutty little top on. I mean, like, even Lustin, who's got his shirt completely unbuttoned, is wearing, like, a necklace, all this stuff. So it's like, he's like, I may be showing my tits, but you gotta look a little harder for it. You gotta work a little bit with Lustin on it, okay? And then, meanwhile, Pex McGee over there is just flashing them for everybody to stare at. He's flashing them so everybody's like, I want to motorboat those. What the fuck? You're welcome. If you weren't thinking that, you are now, and that's what I'm here for, guys. Right. Right, that's what I'm here for. That and petting birds, because he's demanding pets now. I didn't come here to search for Wilhelm, sure. After class, I went to Main Street to get some soap and tea cakes to share with Yuriana. I wasn't here because I was worried about Wilhelm. At least I thought I wasn't.
You want me to pet you, but you bite. You're so nasty. You have so many pin feathers. You should let me get them out.
Yeah? No? You're going to be grumpy, Gus? He's not around here. Maybe he's at the port. I turned a corner, then... Oh! I saw Igor standing on the other side of the road. Yeah, he's here an awful lot. A wagon crossed right in front of me. By the time the carriage had passed, Igor was already gone. But he shouldn't be far away. I crossed to the other side to look for Igor. He wasn't on horseback, so he couldn't have gotten that far. Plus, he stands out. He's gone. I didn't see him anywhere. Perhaps he entered a building somewhere around here. Did I mistake someone else for him? I only saw him for a moment. He was alone. Colette said he was alone, but then again, maybe he was just waiting for his people to arrive. No, Colette saw him too. He must have been here for the past few days. Hello, young lady. You're like looking around. Ah, Chalet in the face! Jesus. Chalet is just like right up in your motherfucking face. I'm not complaining, but like, sorry, take me by surprise. You know what's the funniest thing? I realize that he's just got a ponytail, but why in the world does my brain always just assume he's got pigtails? It's probably because of the two tendrils on either side, but I just imagine in my head, regardless, the whole entire game I have been, that he's got like high up little pigtails. That he's got another matching one on the other. That he's got pigtails. That he's wearing pigtails. He's never been wearing pigtails. But the whole time in the game, I'm like, my brain is like, our eyes see the ponytail and my brain goes, no, putting him in pigtails. And if you weren't imagining him in pigtails, you are now. And I'm right. It's amazing, and they should have done that. And if you were like me, you were like, yeah, no, it is a ponytail, but the whole time I've just been like, no, pigtails. I'm gonna just like scratch that out and imagine pigtails. Even though my eyes know that it's a ponytail, but my brain goes, nope, pigtails. Like, why? Why the whole game has my brain been like, just imagining pigtails on this man? I don't know. Why did it only really dawn on me now that I've been, like, retconning the whole entire thing? Like, can't you just imagine that he's got another one on the other side you can't see? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I scare you that much? Oh, Chalet, sorry. Since I was thinking of Igor, I had been very high-strung. I was just preoccupied with something. Sorry about that. No, I should apologize. Anyway, I have something you might want to know about. What is it? Is it about Wilhelm? Isn't there anyone else you can think of? Oh, so it's not him? No, it's about that haughty, crafty man from Romua. Igor? Did you see him too, Chalet? Yes, and it's not just me, but Colette and a few other people, too. I knew it. But something's odd. No matter when we see him, that man
is always alone.
Yeah, but we also think he could be possessed or slightly taken over by a Deimos, kind of like Lustin's brother. Alone.
Isn't it odd? He's the lieutenant of Romua. He has subordinates to scout for him. So why is he alone in an enemy nation?
Now that you mention it, that is strange. I felt ashamed of my lack of analysis. Being a member of Nirvana, I should have been the first one to realize that.
And you know, I couldn't help but remember the Deimos. I have a bad feeling about it.
I wish the kids of Nirvana could handle them. The magic's the only thing proven to be effective, right? That's what I heard.
I actually haven't told Tifalet about this yet.
Please don't tell him. No, I say, could you let him know? I feel like, could you let him know? Oh, save file here. Okay, this is extremely interesting. That we are creating a save file right before we say, all right, hold on. Like, I want to say, could you let him know? That could potentially be bad because, like, oh, yeah, no, then we're hanging out with Tifalet and Wilhelm's going to get all jealous. But we need Tifalet's magic. But we also know all of Tifalet's backstory, so that could be bad for him. But, like, we're not supposed to care about that, I guess? I don't know. But the please don't tell him just seems really like bad things are going to happen if we don't tell Tifalet. My instinct is like, yeah, can you let him know? Just because he needs to be on guard and we might need his help? Yeah, okay. So please don't tell him is going to lead to bad stuff. That makes sense. But it's interesting that, like, I guess because he won't be able to purify the Deimos because he won't know. I don't know if this is the right decision, but could you let him know? I don't want to drag him into this, but I know that brute force is useless against the Deimos. We might have to ask for Tifalet's help eventually.
You're right. I'll tell him then. Ow, that wasn't nice. That hurt a lot. That was not nice. I'm gonna boop you. And not in the night, boop you on the head.
I like to boop him on the snoot, but it's so funny because I was like, boop you on the head. Just like patting his head very lightly. And he's just like, I sit here and I take it. Oh, you're so mean. You want patties and then you bite. You're like a kitty. You're like, pat, pat, bite. Pat, pat, bite. You're not very nice. You're not very nice. You're very nasty. You're the most nastiest bird. Sometimes you are very nasty. Sometimes you're a very bad boy. Everybody's allowed to have bad days. You're grouchy grump. Was it because you were Seepins? Yeah, and then I disrupted you? Okay, I cup you in my hands. Things are getting complicated. I looked out at the sea and sighed. It's better than a war starting, but we can't really do anything against him, so... On top of that, we're facing Igor. I hadn't fought him yet, but I could tell that he was a skilled fighter. It was very likely that Tifalet would be put in danger. Maybe we should form a party separate from the field patrol. If I suggested it, I was sure everyone, including the instructors, would agree. Hey, there's our boyfriend for the first time in this part. There's those titties. I was deep in thought, and I didn't notice Wilhelm appear beside me. What are you doing just standing here? I was just thinking of something. Uh-huh. Oh, that's it. Hey, Wilhelm, are you free until dinner? I am. Why? Can you come patrol the forest with me? Patrol? Why? It's a bit complicated. I'll explain while we walk. Fine, I'll go with you. He's like, all right, you want to go into the forest? It sounds like he sounded annoyed the way I read it, but the look on his face was like, fine, I'll go with you. I'm like, yeah. He's like, no, when you said patrol, I thought, oh, that's not what the kids call it these days? Uh-huh, I get it. I see what's going on. It sounds like a huge pain in the ass. Well, if anything happens, I think you'd get involved in it too, Wilhelm. You mean if I spot that guy in the forest today, I can kill him? Huh? He's dangerous, isn't he? Yes, and I'm kind of not opposed to this. Well, okay. Well, no. No, Wilhelm, you can't kill him because he might be possessed by a Deimos, so you wouldn't be able to kill him. And that would be dangerous for you. But on any normal day, if he wasn't possessed by an evil spirit, hell yeah, have at it! Fun, baby! Go stab him through the heart. That's nice. Yeah, you want to behead him? Okay, have fun, Chucklefuck. You know what I mean? Like, do your best. Like, whatever. I don't know why I called Wilhelm a Chucklefuck, but it just came out. But you know what I mean? Like, I'd be like, all right, fine, whatever. But it probably wouldn't be good for Wilhelm to try to kill a man possessed by a Deimos. And I don't want Wilhelm to get hurt. Because, like, even though he's a bit of a prick, like, we kind of love him anyway. And you know he's going to, like, soften up and be a little less prickly by the end of it. So, you know. I'm not sure. Oh, that wasn't a yes, okay? It wasn't? It depends on Igor's state. If he's possessed by the Deimos and has his body taken over, I don't think even you can defeat him, Wilhelm. You can't if I cut his head off. All right. He said that so lightheartedly, I was speechless. He's a lieutenant of Romua, so I'm sure people like King Ildis would want him dead, but... By the way, have you learned to play the flute? Huh? I can play now. I don't feel like I have been practicing. It's like I have been practicing, but I can play it now. Yeah. I can play now. Yep. I can kind of play it now. Wow, that's awesome. Thanks. I like how he's like, what? But he has an evil look on his face. He's got the angry eyebrows. Wilhelm's eyes sparkled with anticipation. But I didn't bring the flute with me today, so maybe next time. Yeah, looking forward to it. Wilhelm looked much happier than I expected, and I was perplexed as to why. I didn't know that Wilhelm liked the flute so much. Do you think he kind of knows? Like, he doesn't remember things, but, like, we also don't know how much he started. Like, it's one of those, like, oh, you know, he's like, yeah, I don't remember bits and pieces. You know what I mean? Things are hazy and whatever. But that doesn't mean he isn't, like, recalling things. We don't know. We're not having those conversations with him for him to be like, yeah, I couldn't remember, but now all of a sudden I remembered my 5th birthday. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know that he's not discovering memories. So, or he's just like, he gave us a gift and we can play it now. And he's like, cool, because he wants to spend time with us. Could totally just be that. I don't know.
Perhaps you and Wilhelm knew each other in your past life. This flute might have triggered something you've forgotten.
No way. Hey, Wilhelm? I hope you won't laugh at me, but... Have we met somewhere in the past? Maybe? Huh? Wilhelm became silent. I was convinced he was going to laugh. Oh, so you think so too? Well, I actually had the same thought recently. I don't know why, though. Huh? I hadn't expected him to say that, so all I could do was stare in confusion. Yeah, now it makes sense. Maybe we really have met before. But I barely remember anything, so you need to try your best to remember. Huh? I'm counting on you. Hey, Wilhelm! How am I supposed to... Hell if I know. I'd do it if I knew how. Anyway, let's look for that Igor guy. All right. I do think it's cute. She's like, did we meet? He's like, yes, I got that vibe too. You figure that out and I'll be over here. What the fuck? Wilhelm seemed to be in the best mood I'd seen as he walked with a brisk step. He's like, good, she remembers me. Like, I wonder if it, like, I don't think because he'd tell us if he knew. Maybe he does. And he's just like, yeah, you figure that out because... he can't tell me. It's one of those I have to figure it out for myself things. Or he's like, yes, good, you feel it too. It's not just me. It's kind of being like, I think I might have a crush on you. He's like, oh, thank God, I feel so relieved because I've just been stressed out. Like, are we going to kiss now? You know what I mean? Like, think about it. If you're on a date with someone, I'm going to go digging deep into the trenches of my memories. But you know what I mean? Like, you're kind of like, okay, like, I kind of like them. Like, is this going well? Like, you don't know until, like, You hold hands and then you're like, okay. So like I'm not the only one feeling this vibe here. Or you kiss or something. You know what I mean? So like it's similar, but just, not exactly. But the similar, like he's like, I feel like we know each other and it's so weird, but I can't say anything. And then us being like, have we met before? Like, and he's like, oh, thank God I'm not the only one. Okay. And then it just makes him feel better because he doesn't feel like he's crazy for thinking this, Or I feel like we know each other somehow, but she doesn't seem to get that, and that kind of makes you bummed out a little. So, I would have thought it would end up like this. Well, just wait. It's going to get even more weird, and you're going to be like, now who would have thought we'd end up here? Who would have thought T. Follette would have been a ghost? But there we go. But if I did know Wilhelm before, what kind of person was I? Basically the same from what we saw. A knight allied with Wilhelm, maybe? I followed after Wilhelm while thinking about it. Unfortunately, we didn't find anyone who resembled Igor. No one's here. The forest is vast, and we don't know if he'll come here today. I guess you're right. Anyone can wander into this forest. See those fruits? Anyone can pick them. I see. All the more reason to stop a dangerous guy from running loose. Wilhelm. His words made me feel both happy and relieved. His rough attitude and language was concerning, but I could tell he cared. If he can adjust to life in this world, maybe I'll fix his language and... Ah! Whoa! Ow! Come on. I'm sorry. I looked down and saw some red fruit stuck to the sole of my boot. It must have fallen out of someone's basket. I started to stand up with a wry smile. Here. Wilhelm held out his hand to me. Thanks. I wasn't just embarrassed from my clumsiness. I was kind of flustered. I took his hand. Oh, did we just fall into his embrace? Yes, we did. Oh, look how adorable he looks. He doesn't have the angry look. He just totally looks like one of those normal redheaded boys who's like a little bro dude and is like, but no, you're, oh, you look like the little flustered guy. Oh, that's so cute. Like, see, she's trying to motorboat those titties. And, like, she just, you know what? I was like, oh, she just tripped and fell into his embrace. No, she played this just so she could shove her face in those man tits. Girl. I'm proud of you. Huh? Oh, that's him. Oh, my bad. That wasn't on purpose, I swear. Yeah. They left that CG so fast. Look at how fucking red his face is. It's almost as red as his hair. It might be redder. Damn it, you're so light. If you were heavier, this wouldn't have happened. I will allow you being a little bastard right now with this just because it's awkward and adorable. He pulled me up with more force than expected, causing me to freeze. When I looked up, Wilhelm's face was almost touching mine, and his large hands were on my waist. I tried to help you up, but you were way lighter than I thought. And I had too much momentum, okay? That's it. I know. Man, I didn't know you were this light. That's not true. This is like the first time she's being skinny shamed. He's like, damn, girl. Eat a cheeseburger. That's rude. Usually it's like, oh, you know what? Why don't you have a salad for once? Listen, I like salads, but I'm still a fat ass, okay? I'm surprised you could swing around the cursed sword with that thin body. You say that like it's an insult, but I'm going to take it as a compliment. Oh my god, thanks. Do you think I'm thin? Wait a minute. No, we're not going to do this. We're not going to make me question my body shape. You know what? They're all valid, goddammit. Or maybe the sword's weight depends on the wielder. Maybe. Can you even move around with armor on? Have you seen the armor the women wear? Okay, well that's Yuriana's armor, but I'm just imagining that, like, I'm just wearing tinfoil. I'm, like, probably wearing tinfoil pasties and a thong, so... Yes. Yes, I can! Alright then. My cheeks, neck, and even my fingertips turned bright red with embarrassment. I could feel my heart racing too, and we're still standing so close, whispering these words, our lips almost touching. Just kiss already, goddammit. Sorry about that, but yeesh, that freaked me out. Anyway, it's awesome that you've been swinging around that sword even with those thin arms of yours. Good job. Thanks. With noodle arms? I don't know. I knew that he wasn't insulting me because Wilhelm's gaze was genuinely beaming. Thanks. He's got a little fucking blush now. That's kind of cute. I lowered my head slightly, but like also there's something about this face that's just so like devious. This isn't like, yeah, being nice. It's like, yeah. And it's like, just put it away. Oh my god. Oh, now we're out. Oh, we stayed out all night in the forest. Are we just swooning at each other? I see. So Igor is still here. Upon returning to Nirvana, I made my report immediately. There haven't been any reported incidents. It hasn't been confirmed that a Deimos is involved in this either, but... Firstly, it's unusual of a man of his caliber to lurk alone here for so long. I've already consulted Queen Kiora after your first report, but if he were a normal civilian with no military knowledge, this wouldn't be so concerning. But if this warrior general of Romulus suddenly takes up arms... Right. I will go ask for the Queen's opinion again. Depending on her response, we may form a special security unit from Nirvana. I can't sleep. I crawled into bed, but the day's events kept running through my mind. If only I hadn't tripped on that fruit, you wouldn't have face planted in his chest? I don't, like I don't hate Wilhelm, but I don't think he's like my favorite. This is not like a face planting into Abel's chest or like even Lustin. Like they're still my favorites. Okay. Well, Tifa was fucking good, but like you know. But I'm still not going to complain about face planted into his chest. I mean, like there's nothing wrong with that. So, I wouldn't have. But I barely remember anything, so you need to try your best to remember. Like, I can do that. I don't remember anything either. He just decided that we met without any concrete evidence. He told me to remember, but how can I? My past life, huh? I never thought of it that way, but maybe I was someplace else before I was born as me. As someone else. Yep. So again, we absolutely know that that was us in a past life. I mean, again, I don't think that was quite... I don't think we were questioning that because there was no reason for a random other person to be in the CG. But, the only thing that's weird, okay, like the past life thing is kind of adorable. Like, we were together in a past life and we're together in this one. It's only a little bit weird when you think about the fact that he knew past you and now current you, and he's gonna, like, yes, like, you could go, oh my god, but it's like they're soulmates, their souls are connected across time and space and lives, and it's like, yeah, but he hasn't changed. He's this person he was then, that he is now, and you're a different person. So, it's kind of similar, though slightly different, but it's very in a similar vein to the I'm pining over my last love and I'm comparing you to some girl I loved who died, or an ex-girlfriend or something kind of route. I never like those. Thank God I don't think we've really ever had any of those. Okay, the Mistonia has one where, he is still in love with his first love, but it's like, I guarantee you that's us somehow. But like, whatever. But like, I don't think we've ever played games, but I know it's a true, but yet I don't think we've played them where it's like, no, but like, oh, Susan. Oh, and then they're always comparing you to her, and you're like, could you just not? In reality, that people you date probably had exes and stuff like that, and that's fine. But they don't compare you to them. They're not like, oh, well, I mean, you know what Susan used to do for me? Do you know that Kim used to do this? You're like, get fucked. You know what I mean? The only comparison that's valid is like, My God, you were so much better than everybody else I dated in the past combined. That's the only thing that you should ever be thinking. That this person is a step up from everything that you have been like, I finally achieved that I'm getting better at picking relationships. That's all. Never like, well, this guy did this and he was better at that. Or like, you know what I mean? There should be no comparison. Those X's are X's for a fucking reason. Let it go. You know what I mean? Like, I also never understood, total side note, my friends who would always be like, oh my God. And they just, okay, I don't know if this is just me being fucking weird, but why is it that there are certain people who can graphically describe every penis they've ever seen in their lives? And you're like, are you sleeping with that man? No, then why do you remember every graphic detail about his penis? That's fucking weird. I mean, unless you have like an eidetic memory where you're like, I can remember every crease and crevice on the wallpaper at my doctor's office. Okay, well, you're an oddity, but good for you. But like, and normal people are not like, why do you remember these? Why does it matter? Why are you thinking about that guy that you slept with 10 years ago? Why do you have that aside from like, I get the like, wow, that was a train wreck. That was a bad experience. Or actually, that was a good time. Sure, things like that. But like, why do you remember graphic details of their body parts? That's weird. That's so strange. Because like, if you were a guy, you really want to be like, your girlfriend's like talking about like a guy she banged 10 years ago. Like, whatever. You're like, let it go. Let it fucking go. Because as a woman, you wouldn't want a man doing that to you, right? You wouldn't be like, well, I mean, her boobs were better and they were perkier. You'd be like, why are you so obsessed with that bitch's boobs now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so like, I don't understand it, but maybe it's just me. Like, let it go. So having those routes where it's like, oh, I'm pining over my ex, but I get like, it's kind of I'm just like, no, I don't like that. That just kind of icks me out. It kind of like the giant age gaps. Okay, me wanting to bang Mephisto or King Sarazar, it's fine, whatever. Okay, like I'll accept it. But like the age differences don't bother me when they don't harp on it. They do bother me at first. I'm like 16. Why am I dating a 40-year-old? This is gross. There's something wrong with this. I'm sorry. I just turned 18 yesterday and now I'm going to date a 40-year-old. Ew. Gross. That's gross. But like, there were times where it's a student-teacher relationship and you're like, it's inappropriate. We're like, okay, the taboo around it, fine. Depending on the situation. But they always have to harp on how old he is, how old he's so old. It's like, let it go. We can lean into the taboo of it or whatever without that. But it's the same thing with like, I'm just going to compare you to my dead ex-girlfriend or whatever. Ew. No, why would you? No, I don't get it. But I'm sure it's like all the people who were into that or in those relations, like those tropes are probably like, but you want to bang your brother? Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like different strokes for different folks. And I don't want to stroke from a guy who's over there comparing me to his dead ex. But if it's my brother, I'll absolutely take all the stroking. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I get that it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? But this, like, the past life thing is almost similar to that it's not like he is a different person too, where we're remembering our past lives and our souls are connected in this life. He's the same person and this is basically his dead ex. So, like, are you really going to appreciate me, who I am now? Or are you going to be thinking of this girl? Like, it's in that, it's not like I don't like it, where I'm like, no, I hate this, but I'm also like, I'm gonna kind of hold my breath and wait, because she so far seems very much like us. And I feel like they kind of did that to make it seem a little less disjointed. Well, not disjointed, but like weird, where you're not like, you're basically, but he also doesn't remember her. But he knows we have some connection. So I guess depending on how they do it, it's going to take that weird factor out. Because the weird factor for me is if he's like, oh, you were Susan. Yeah, she was like this. She was type A and you're type B. But, like, I guess it's... And then you're always going to be thinking that I'm going to be her when I'm not her anymore. I might have been in a past life, but I'm not anymore. But again, you were Tom in a past life, and now you're Bob. You know, you're different, too. We can still connect on... We were connected in a past life, and the people that we were, but also the people we are. Because we both changed. But Wilhelm didn't. You know what I mean? So it's leans a little bit... It's in that little Venn diagram overlap of dead ex-girlfriend or something, where I'm just like, I don't know if I love it. But again, he doesn't remember, so that could help. And she seems very much like we are currently, so that also helps make it a little less where it's like, okay. I probably won't be bothered by it. You know what I mean? When it gets to the end. But then again, also, the way they've done things in this game, probably won't be bothered by it, even though right now I'm like, we'll just put a question mark on it. We'll see how they do it to see if it's going to bother me or not. Like, you know? But Nikke also stabbed my fucking dad, and I was like, I don't know if I could get past it. And then we were just totally fine with it. So, like, whatever. Whatever. Anyway, you were deceiving me? No, not just me, but everyone else in the company and even this whole nation. Wilhelm, I always thought you were feminine with the flute and stuff. Were we secretly a dude in our past life, pretending to be a girl? Oh. But who knew you were actually a princess? So this is going back. He's like, I just thought you were feminine because you played the flute, but no, you've really been a princess. Okay, all right. So the prior dream, when he was like, this is why I don't like royalty, is after this conversation. Okay, so we're going further back. Wilhelm, listen to me. I never intended to deceive any of you. Since the moment I was born... Yeah, I already know. It's because your parents didn't have any boys, right? That's right. You're insane. Why would a woman dress as a man? Oh, wait. Okay, no. But now you just leaned into exactly what I love. It's not even that we... No. I thought you were feminine because you played the flute. You had a slight crush on this dude, and you just found out this dude was a chick, and now you feel all bamboozled. We just pulled a Mulan on him. I am so here for this. I love it. Listen, I love a little bit of cross-dressing in my games. And I like it when the boys are like a little like, yeah, I'm kind of into you. And they're like, but I'm not gay. And then they're like, maybe I am. And then you're like, I'm actually a girl. And they're like, awesome. And but you know, they're questioning themselves a little. You know? Except for Noritsune, the queen of all, who was just like, I don't give a fuck. You're like, I'm not really a dude. I'm a girl. I don't care. We're going to fuck anyway. Like, just the queen of dealing with cross-dressing in games. Did not give a fuck if you were a man, a woman, a fucking wildebeest. Maybe he cared about that, but he didn't give a fuck. He gave no fucks whatsoever. He just wanted to fight you, then fuck you. And it was like, deserves a crown for that. Still, goddamn amazing. Anyway. But Wilhelm was, he trusted us. We were bros. Maybe he had a little bit of a crush. And now he finds out we're a girl. I'm not letting a woman stand on the battlefield with a sword. Get it? Or he's just misogynistic a little bit. Sure, that too. You just wear a fancy dress and play your flute, princess. Wilhelm! I do love the fact, though, that, like, she was, like, disguising herself as a man because times were different. You know what I mean? Probably, than they are now. And, like, so she disguised herself as a... But I don't think he's so upset about, like... I mean, there's probably a little bit about that sexism. When you backtrack it this far in this game, or even in super ye oldie times, you can't really blame ye oldie time people. What, a woman fighting in a battle? That is ridiculous. Because it's like, yeah, no, but, like, she'll kick your ass. Just, you know what I mean? Like, that's why times change. But, like, people who are stuck in that time, or like Wilhelm, right? Back in ye oldie days, you can't blame him for thinking that. Because women probably were not fighting in wars. So if women can't fight in wars, women can't do math. What do you mean women can do math? Women can do math? Holy shit. What? And then we go, yes. And then they're like, okay. And then you adjust. And now that you know women can fight in wars and do math, thinking that women can't fight in wars and do math is sexist and bullshit. You know? But before that, like, the people who were living in the time where women couldn't do math, I mean, women could always do math, let's be real. But you know what I'm saying. Like, you can't really blame them for being a little out of fucking touch. Now? Yes. Then? You know what I mean? It's kind of like looking at TV shows from the early 2000s with a modern lens. There is a use case for that, to be like, okay, this is some problematic shit, but you can't be like, oh my god, cancel that show because they said something like we don't agree with now. Yeah, but back then that was totally acceptable. I'm not saying we should go and, well, we should just bring that back. No. But you have to put yourself in those shoes and go, wow. So, like, look at America's Next Top Model. So in the early 2000s, it was totally cool to tell a girl who was like a size 4 that she was fat. That's some fucked up shit. That is some fucked up shit. Those were the times, though. Yes, we look at it and go, that's some fucked up shit. And that's okay. Like, we have to, like, recognize how fucked up it was, but you're not going to be like, oh my god, everyone that ever existed in that time period should be, like, put in jail for thinking that. No, that's just the way it was. Everybody felt that way, and if you were not literally like a size 00, we all had a mental crises or eating disorders or like whatever. Like, it's becoming prominent again, which is sad. But like, that's the importance of looking back and going, don't do this again. That's, you know, but like, you can't necessarily blame people in the early 2000s for what was a fact of life at the time, you know? So Wilhelm being like, women can't fight in wars, that was probably a fact of life at the time. Funny thing, so he's still probably got a little bit of that in him with him talking about, like, God, your skinny arms, I can't believe you hold a sword. But he has yet to come out and be like, fucking chicks can't fight in wars. He's not full-on misogynist like that. It's like the time period he lived in was women don't fight in wars, and so he's mad about this friend, for someone that he trusted and cared about, finding out that they're a woman, one, and they're a princess. But I also am just going to live in my little fantasy of being like, he's just a little upset because he was in love with this dude and he's like, you bamboozled me and you've been a woman this whole time. You know, little bisexual Wilhelm. Because that's the kind of shit I want in my games. Anyway, we rambled a lot in this part, but I gotta go eat lunch, so I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.